I was walking through the dark, disenchanted by the rain.
Love letter to pro wrestling. I have to say thank you, because I wouldn't be here without you, and you've been so good to me, but so hard on me at the same time, that more so than any maternal, paternal, any figure in my life, you shaped who I've become. At the end of the day, I wouldn't trade anything that's happened, good, bad, or indifferent. So thank you so much for allowing me to just be a part of you the same way that you're always going to be a part of me.
Driving home in silence, I don't think about the violence. I think about the road in front of me.
I spent 14 years as a pro wrestler, living, breathing, doing everything I could to be the very best pro wrestler I could be. 14 years. Until finally, a company, Impact Wrestling, gave me a contract.
You're not the best unsigned talent out there in the world. Yes, he is. You're the hottest rising star in Impact Wrestling, and you got a 3-year mother deal.
That's only the beginning. Because I walk through the doors here at Impact and I see it's a completely different animal. I go from a big fish in a small pond to a fish swimming in an ocean amongst sharks. From there, what do? I go to work. Longest reigning tag team champion in company history, a historic X Division run, one I'm proud of. And I parlay that into getting option C, going for the Impact World Championship on the biggest stage in the main event of Bound for Glory. And trust me, if you don't believe it, I didn't believe it either. The fact that I'm the guy who Impact Wrestling looked to bring that world championship back to this company, back to somebody in this locker room. And I did it. I went one-on-one with a legend, the Hall of Fame talent in Christian Cage, and I came out on top. I won that Impact World Championship, and in a moment.
He called his shot! No! Damn you, Moose!
Josh Alexander's son and wife just had to watch him.
Moose took that championship away from me. And I spent 6 months chasing Moose. So at Rebellion 2022, in the main event, once again, with me, all the pressure in the world on me, my back pushed against the wall, I rose to the occasion. I took that Impact World Championship off of Moose.
Looking at Chin! Finally!
Now at 15 years old, I didn't think this dream was possible, but here I stand, the Impact Wrestling World Champion.
Remember, I said all this was unlikely. If you didn't think it was possible, trust me, I did not believe any of this was possible. I'm confident in every single aspect of my pro wrestling game. When that bell rings between those ropes, I am confident I am one of the best wrestlers in the world. But everything outside of that ring, I question every single thing about me.
Josh Alexander is somebody who, had he started 10 years before he did, would have been in TNA when I was coming up, when AJ Styles was coming up, when Samoa Joe was coming up, when the Motor City Machine Guns were formed, when Jay Lethal first imitated Ric Flair and Randy Savage. He would have been a superstar then, and he's a superstar today.
When I'm Impact World Champion, when I'm the one people are looking at to be the face of this company, to carry this brand, that's exactly what I did. Tomohiro Ishii, Eric Young, Joe Doring, Alex Shelley, Eddie Edwards, Frankie Kazarian, Bully Ray, Rich Swann. And then I'm looking forward to the main event of Rebellion once again against Steve Macklin. But I never got that match. I was already the longest reigning world champion in this company's history, but I was on track to be a champion, somebody who held that belt for an entire year. It was taken away once again.
Josh Alexander is out indefinitely with a torn tricep.
The record-setting title run of Josh Alexander is officially over.
I stand here the longest reigning world champion in this company's history. The best damn pro wrestler in the world. I have too much respect for that man, for that locker room, for this company, for everyone that's held this championship before me to not stand here with my chin up and relinquish this championship.
I spent nearly a year as Impact World Champion, waking up every day knowing that that was my title. It was my responsibility. I put in all the work, did all the battles, fought all the wars. You make history, you set records, and you just want to keep it going. And then it's taken away, not from somebody, not from someone, but from myself. The doctor looked at me and told me I had a torn tricep and I was going to be out for 5 to 8 months. And the only thing going through my head at that moment isn't anything with me, how I'm going to make ends meet, how I'm going to support my family, put food on the table, none of that. The only thing I thought about was that world championship. Wrestling's been the only thing that's ever felt right for me. Just the only glove that fit, the only thing I ever felt like I was meant to do. A lot of people are talented at a lot of things. Me, the only thing I found I'm talented at is pro wrestling. Not being able to step between those ropes, get in front of fans, be a part of this, be a part of Impact Wrestling, sit at home on my couch. Just it feels like you lose everything. When I went in for surgery, the doctor told me I was going to be out for 8 months. I'm looking at 8 months without the one thing that I love, that ring. I knew that wasn't going to happen. See, because I've been down this road before. I broke my neck in 2014. Doctors told me I would never wrestle again. That taught me one lesson. Not everybody's built the same. I'm different. The second the doctor told me I was never going to wrestle again, the only thing on my mind from that day forward was proving them wrong. Torn tricep, that's nothing compared to that.
Who will become the #1 contender to the Impact World Championship? Dragging screws for everyone, courtesy of Alex Shelley. Oh, and the cutter! Umar with a crossbody and the chicken wing!
Center of the ring, but look out!
Oh, Boston knee party!
But there's Moose with the spear!
Oh, and a super kick to Umura! Shell shock!
Could it
Shelley! Shelley is the #1 contender to the Impact World title!
You see that? 20 years, man. How about it, huh? Your time. Oh, I'm going to. I'm going to do it for you. For you.
When I came back to pro wrestling, across the board, right? Like, this wasn't just Impact Wrestling. This was coming back to pro wrestling from a medical career, from years of schooling, from a lot of hardships in life. Scott D'Amore was somebody who never once diminished anything I did. Everything I did was a good idea, and it took me a long time to realize that, because even though I knew in my heart of hearts that further education and helping people is a good thing inherently, I also felt like I removed myself from pro wrestling's field, and I basically benched myself. But Scott always assured me, you're one of the most talented people I've ever met. All you have to do is devote yourself to pro wrestling again, and that does take time. And that does take a ton of grit. It does take some hardships. But you can do anything you want in this industry. And he was right.
Nothing's really lined up, has it? Like, nothing's really lined up in order for me to declare my dominance over the pro wrestling world as a singles competitor. I've done it all in tags. I've really done it all in this industry. But now, on paper, I'm my best self, and I'm the #1 contender. Oh man, it's gonna feel so good. It's gonna feel so damn good when I win that belt, and I can hold it up, and I can say you to everybody who doubted me. And I can say no matter what you said, no matter what you thought, I defied every sense of logic because a guy like me was never supposed to be world champion. That's what I think about that. The times have changed. It may have taken 20 years, but they changed, and I forced them to do so. That's why it's my belt. Not Macklin's, not Josh Alexander's, not Kurt Angle's, not AJ Styles, not Jeff Jarrett's, not a business. My belt, my company, my generation.
Come against all odds, Alex Shelley will be challenging Macklin for the Impact World title.
The fact is, you aren't the #1 contender to the World Championship. I am. Another fact, you aren't walking out of against all odds world champion. I am.
Do you think you can beat him?
Yup.
Shell shock! Could it be? At long last, it's Shelley's time!
This is something that I dreamed of and dreams come true because I didn't quit. I can do anything that I absolutely will into existence, including defy the naysayers, including beat the odds, including reinventing the wheel for my generation. And I did it. This is your proof.
I was a fan just like everybody else. I have watched this company since 2002. I know Alex Shelley. I respect Alex Shelley. I have looked up to Alex Shelley, and to finally see him climb to the mountaintop and knock that man off the top, take that belt away from Steve Macklin, man, I couldn't have been happier to see Alex Shelley finally realize his place amongst the greats in this company.
The Impact World Championship to me is an acknowledgement of my hard work. And that may sound simple, but at the same time, when you live through what I've had to live through for 20 plus years, and a lot of it is people just not getting you, or you not being in the right spot at the right time, or being in your own way, then you can tell all the naysayers, each I'm the world champion and I earned this.
Underrated gets thrown around a lot in this business. I mean, you hear it all the time. But truly underrated people in this business, I don't think there's any greater than Alex Shelley. He has not only revolutionized the sport itself, but he has inspired generations of talent. You see his footprints throughout this business in every single company.
Honestly, I would love to say that my life is totally different. It's not. I was preparing for this for years, and I'm not going to say my entire career, although the 21 years I spent before I won a world championship obviously did groom me. But for the past several years, since I came back to pro wrestling, I've given it my all. I realized that pro wrestling is not a job. This is not an obligation. This is not a duty. This is a gift. So every time I step in the ring, I will never, ever, ever take it for granted. I use that mindset. I continue to use that mindset. Along with that comes a tireless work ethic, okay? In 2022, I had 8 days off. 8 days off, and I know that sounds absolutely unbelievable, but I lived it. So I put my nose to the grindstone, and I made sure I grabbed every opportunity I could. Anybody can win one match. The trick though, the magic, that happens when you actually hold that belt day after day after day.
Shelley stays on the mountaintop. The walking weapon! I'm back.
Honestly, he motivates me. He's my favorite wrestler because he's come back from so much. This guy doesn't feel pain. He just perseveres. If that's not a champion, I don't know what is. You have to remember, I was around Kurt for years. We were on the road together. I was in the gym with him. I saw how he trained. I saw how he lived. I saw what happened when he carried the championship. Josh Alexander does the same thing. So the comparisons are incredibly accurate. I dare say that Josh Alexander in this company has the ability to surpass Kurt Angle's legacy.
An Impact World Championship means everything to me. And I mean, I've done it all in this company. I've done it all. If I'm not fighting for and trying to be Impact World Champion, why am I here? That is the greatest prize in this company. That is the thing that signifies that you are the very best. And every day I fight to be the best. That is my purpose. That is the only reason I'm here. Between winning the Impact World Championship the first time and having it taken away in an instant from Moose, and getting it back from Moose, I learned a lot of valuable lessons about myself and just about how you act professionally. I can't say I'm not focused going into this match. I know who I'm facing. I have faced Alex Shelley once before.
What's that one world championship match you had that you didn't win?
I'm a different person than I was then, and you're different too. You want that match? I want that match too, because it's gonna prove to you and to me that I'm better than you.
Who is the real face of this generation?
But hearing everything Alex Shelley has said to me at every turn, it's just confusing me. Somebody who is so good at this, who has been doing it for so long, I have to question why he seems so insecure.
Things have certainly gotten tense between Alex Shelley and his challenger, Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander thinks that I've made things personal, and he might be right. At the same time, I struggle with whether I'm fighting with him or I'm fighting with myself, because a lot of the things that come out of his mouth, a lot of the things that Josh Alexander says, I think deep down, I thought those about myself too. Or maybe I wasn't good enough. Or maybe I just fell into this situation. So I've got to prove to him that I'm the face of the company. And I think I have to prove it to myself too.
I'd be a fool to say with 100% certainty I'm going to come out of Bound for Glory as Impact World Champion. I know Alex Shelley. I've watched Alex Shelley for 20 years here in Impact Wrestling. I have been in the ring with him. I know how good Alex Shelley is. But I know how good I am too.
Bound for Glory in Chicago, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know who is going to wrestle Josh Alexander. Of course, it's going to be Alex Shelley. But I've obviously had my temper flare up a little bit.
Wait a minute! Oh, shell shock!
And when that happens, then, well, desperate times call for desperate measures, don't they? And Josh has a lot of injuries, like a lot of injuries. So do I target that? Do I take advantage of a situation that might present itself? Do I beat him on skill alone? At Bound for Glory, your guess, that's as good as mine.
In the main event of Bound for Glory, under the brightest lights, on the biggest stage, we're going to step into the ring and we're going to have our match. When that match starts, we're going to find out who has the most heart, who can persevere, who can keep going, and who wants it more. Because that's all it comes down to. It comes down to who wants to be champion more. We're both experienced. We both know what it takes. May the better man win.